Okay, we're going to look now at what we do if we've got decimals and fractions in a ratio. So first of all, it says here that a ratio is not considered simplified if it has any decimals or fractions in it. We must therefore begin by getting rid of these. So to get rid of fractions, we multiply through by the common denominator. We sort of saw that in the previous video. And to get rid of decimals, we multiply by 10, 100, 1000, etc., depending on how many decimal places it has. So you do that to get rid of the decimals so that the numbers then become whole numbers, and then you may have to simplify again. When you've got rid of the fractions decimals, you must check whether the ratio can be simplified in the usual way by looking for common factors. So we're going to jump onto our examples here. And the first one doesn't have any fractions or decimals in it, but it is a three-part ratio. So we've got 10 to 15 to 20. Now all three of these numbers are divisible by 5. So the easiest thing to do is just divide by 5 and you'll get 2 to 3 to 4. Just check. And there's no other common number which divides into all three. So that's as good as we can go there. So that is it. Happy days. Okay, example 5. We've got 0.622. So the first thing I would do is multiply through by 10. So multiplying through by 10 because we've got one decimal place here. That'll be the easiest thing to do, so to get rid of that one decimal place. So you get 6 to 20. We can now then divide through by 2, which gives you 3 to 10. And if you just check that, there's nothing else that you can divide through by. There's nothing else common, so that's as good as we can go. Okay, this one is a wee bit trickier. We have got 2/5 to 3. So what I'm going to do is take a common denominator of 2/5. So it's maybe a wee bit different than they've said in the notes. So 3, remember, is 3 over 1. So if I made that 1 goes to 5 by multiplying by 5. So the top line also has to be multiplied by 5, so it will go to 15. So 3 over 1 is the same as 15 over 5. And then the way I like to think about it is I've got the same number dividing on both sides, so I can just get rid of that. So it just becomes 2 to 5. And that is it, because there's nothing else that you can divide anything by. Our last example says, for every 8 red cars sold by a garage, they sell 6 silver cars, 4 blue cars, and write down the ratio of the number of red cars to the number of silver cars to the number of blue cars in its simplest form. Okay, so we have got 8 red to 6 silver to 4 blue, and that really is it. But we can simplify that a wee bit better by simplifying by dividing by 2, and that will give you 4 to 3 to 2. And is there anything else we can divide by? And no, there is not. That is as good as we can go. So it says write down a ratio of the number of red cars to the number of silver cars to the number of blue cars in its simplest form. That is as good as we can go. So you can see, folks, we're now ready to do, if you're in the new book, you're ready to do exercise 5A. If you're in the old book, you're ready to do exercise 5B, but I'll put the new book versions of these on Google Classroom for us, so we can do those.